there, and welcome to the second half of the night. The city lights, those working anyway, are shining dim, fog is gathering, and there have been some noise complaints in the southeast, where Henrietta and Matteo Giovanni usually like to play naughty with the dead. Speaking of, La Familia is likely to receive some very bad news, I believe, as the late sheriff's hounds left behind more public destruction and a various assortment of zombie body parts in the subway station. The metro tunnels shook and thundered, not because of the trains, but with echoing gunshots and screams, and knowing these white nights by now, one can safely assume that the underground haven of the aforementioned kissing cousins has been breached and conquered. Kane only knows what was to be found down there, but we can imagine it was nothing good. Now, the question is not whether the Hecata will answer to this particularly open act of aggression. They certainly aren't going to be pleased. The question, dear listener, is: did the two actually break the masquerade, or any other tradition for that matter? Here's a little insight on the rules, boys and girls. None of the Camarilla laws actually prohibit necromancy, hiring a specific group of ministry to perform one's ritual, or sacrificing mortals for whatever purpose, as long as it all stays within kindred society. Our esteemed prince has not declared a blood hunt on anyone so far, thus I have to ask, how lawful was this incursion? I have less love than interest in the Hecata or their ministry lackeys for that matter, but his open acts of violence were definitely not sanctioned by the Ivory Tower. From a moral standpoint, if I had one, I'd say that yes, putting an end to the ritualistic murders is the right thing to do. Yet, from a legal one, the facts are that these young deputies invaded a private haven, attacked independent agents acting within their domain, and possibly destroyed a vampire or two despite the sixth tradition. The right to kill kindred is reserved for the elder of the community. Now, if you're still with me, let me get back to the unending topic of Anarchs versus Camarilla, specifically to which one has the better policy. On one hand, having set laws acting as a deterrent is an efficient way to ensure order, while not having any and counting on the good judgment and nature of all to do the right thing doesn't provide any actual security. At the same time, having to play by the rules, especially when some sadistic bastards are slicing up kind like cattle, is absolute shit. Whereas taking matters into your own hands and removing those negative elements from the community feels not only right, but certainly satisfying. To sum it up, our favorite neonates did the right thing, but objectively speaking, ignored the law of their sect of choice. Personally, I hope they won't have to face repercussions, especially with their former boss looking like he actually met final death. But knowing the Ivory Tower like I do, we'll see how much their very anarch way of handling matters will be tolerated by the higher-ups, especially with a few of them not liking or trusting in Amon's vision for a better life. That being said, my dear nightbirds, and with quite a few hours until sunrise, all there's left to do is, well, avoid that part of the city and, of course, savor the night, Bucharest. Savor the night.